Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. This is Moyna Bass Fishers. I'm Jim Moyna, professional bass fisherman from Minnesota. All right, in this video, I'm going to talk about the most important job of a co-angler. All right, a co-angler is in a pro-am tournament. You have the pro division, you have a co-angler division. Okay, so you as a pro, the pro uses his boat. He decides where you fish throughout the day. The co-angler simply rides in the back of the boat, and they catch their fish. Their fish go in a separate live well from the pro's live well. The pro catches his fish. The pro has a much higher entry fee. Co-angler has a lower entry fee. The prizes for the co-angler are less than in value than what the pros are. So, and you randomly pair together. You get a different co-angler each day. Okay, so that's the background of it. Okay. And those are what are called like pro-am type tournaments. Okay, so you'll see this in the Bassmaster Opens that I fish. I'm randomly paired with a co-angler. You get a different co-angler each day. The MLF Toyota Series, same thing. The MLF BFLs, same thing. I haven't done those for a while, but same thing. Co-anglers. So so that's what the co-angler is. Okay, it's just some random guy a pro gets drawn with, and you go out and fish. He or she fishes for their fish. I fish for mine, and that's how it goes down. Now, like I said, I want to point out the most important job of the co-angler. Okay, the reason why we have co-anglers, sadly to say, is we have to keep the sketchy types in line, right? We don't want people cheating. Okay, I hate that word, hate throwing that around, but it's a reality. Okay, it's proven that given the chance, there's a very small percentage of pros or fishermen that will cut the corners, cut the rules, and cheat. Okay, that's what they're doing. So by having these co-anglers, by having this division, the pros are not going out alone. They're going out with a random stranger they just met. They don't know this person. Okay, and this co-angler, just that presence alone of that co-angler is going to keep the integrity of the tournament in check. It's going to keep all the pros in check. They're not going to be cheating. They're not going to be doing things they're not supposed to be doing. And like I said, that's just like very just odd case, very rare cases where, I mean, almost all the pros are legit and do it the right way. But we do need these co-anglers, okay? We need to have them. And we need you guys to know the rules. We need you co-anglers, we need you guys to step up and say something to the pro. We need you guys to step up and say something to the tournament director when you see a violation. Okay? And the reason why I'm bringing this video to existence is, this is a few weeks ago now, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, but there was a bad boat accident on the Harris Chain of Lakes in Florida. It was a tournament where you had pros, you had co-anglers, and for whatever reason, there were 2 boaters that decided they were going to run a no-wake canal. It's labeled no wake. There's buoys that say no wake. Everybody knows it's no wake. Okay? These pros, 2 of them, decided, hey, we're going to shave off some time wasted idling. We're just going to run through there, on plane, and cut off a whole bunch of time, and then we'll have more time to fish. That is such a flagrant, serious violation. In fact, those 2 boaters have since been they did get some penalties. I think their penalty was they're not allowed to fish any tournaments in that league for the rest of the year. It was an MLF Toyota Series tournament, and I'm not going to discuss whether or not that was a legit, that was enough of a penalty, too much of a penalty, or whatever. That's not the point of this video. I do believe that I wish I would have seen a steeper penalty, but I'm not going to get into that. My point is, each of these boaters had co-anglers in their boats. So this is when a co-angler needs to step up. If you got a boater that's about to flagrantly run a no wake zone, you got to step up and do something about it right there. You got to have this guy not do that. And if he refuses to, then basically then just tell him, take me over to that shore right there and drop me off. I mean, obviously if you're in the middle of a freaking swamp, you can't do that, but you got to make it known that this is not okay. We're not going to run the snow wake zone, and it just ain't going to happen. And it used to be where, and maybe with some terms it still is, but I know like in the MLFs, you used to have to sign on a piece of paper. You had to put your signature down, and that signature basically said that, hey, the catch of your pro is legit. So as a co-angler, they'd have you sign a piece of paper, and your signature said, hey, that pro didn't break any rules. That's a legit catch, whatever he's weighing. And the pro would have to do the same thing. The pro would have to put his signature down on the piece of paper, and that was the proof, or that was the confirmation that, hey, the co-angler caught his fit legit. They've kind of gotten away from that because the last, I don't know, I've been in some Toyota Series tournaments this year, not the one at the Harris chain, but some other ones, and I don't recall seeing that piece of paper, and maybe even not last year. I don't know. But anyways, but if the tournament does have that requirement where you got to sign off, that's your ultimate leverage. Is you could say to your pro, hey, if you run that no wake zone right there, do not expect me to sign your weigh-in slip, okay? And if they don't have you sign nothing, well, then you can also say, hey, if you run that no wake zone, it's my job. It's written right in the rules. It's my job to inform the tournament director of this violation. So that's your leverage. You have that leverage. That's the number reason why co-anglers, the whole concept of co-anglers exists, is to keep our tournaments legit, to keep the integrity of the tournaments legit. We need you guys, co-anglers. We need you guys, and we need you guys to step up when there's a violation. Okay, and it may not be a slow zone. It could be, maybe the guy's fishing in a marina he's not supposed to be. There's, who knows? Maybe you see the guy snag a fish off of a spawning bed. You have to, or maybe he doesn't show. It's always a rule where if a pro is sight fishing, he has to, before he unhooks a fish, he has to show the fish to you and show you that the hook is inside the mouth and it's not snagged like on the fish's fin or something. So these are things that we want you guys to be doing. Just step up. And rarely will you have to say anything. Just so rare, okay? Rarely. It's just when that rare occasion comes, we need you guys to step up and say something. We really do. And I don't know what, and referring back to this case in Florida where there was a big boat accident, nobody got hurt. I don't know how that was possible because the one boat was sitting right on top of the other and the other one was like basically submerged. But nobody got really seriously hurt. And I don't know what the discussions that the co-anglers had with their pros before they decided to run these no wake zones. But you did have a choice, co-anglers. You had a choice. You had a choice in the matter of, at least the choice you had was, making your pro aware of that this is a violation and this violation is going to be reported. Okay. And ultimately, you could demand to get off the boat if you wanted to, but I know that's not always practical, depending on the location and what's going on. But so that's what I want to point out in this video is co-anglers, we need you guys. The sport needs you, okay? And let me just roll this into what I'm going to say now. I'm seeing that a lot of these pro-am tournaments that have co-anglers, we're not finding enough co-anglers to put a co-angler with every boater. And this is especially true in the Bass Opens. We've had 3 events. We have 6 more to go. And I would love to see more co-anglers in these events, because literally we've had about half of the pro field has had a co-angler in their boat on any given tournament day. So in other words, I've had 6 days of competition for 3 tournaments, 2 tournament days in each of the 3 tournaments. And I've had a co-angler 3 of those 6 days. So that's just to me, that's just not tight enough. I'd like to see it a lot tighter. And like I said, most of the pros, I mean, like almost all of them are legit, but there's a few knuckleheads that think they can cut rules and cheat the system, and some of them using big cheats, not just little incremental cheats, like big cheats. Okay, it's proven. We've seen this in the past history of tournament fishing. Some guys just flagrantly just cheat big time. Okay, not just not just cheating by maybe blowing the last 30 yards of a no-wake zone. I mean, that's still cheating, but that's not as bad as guy. If a guy was fishing alone and he calls a buddy, and the buddy brings him a big fish, and then he claims it as his own at weigh-in. Okay, there's levels of cheating. Okay, so but whatever the cheat is, co-anglers, we need you guys. We need you guys to step up and say things and use your leverage. You have leverage. The tournament director knows that the tournament director knows that you guys are there, and you guys are the policemen out there. Okay, you guys are what holds the integrity of bass fishing together. All right, we need you guys for that. Where else do I need? Okay, so with the Bassmaster Opens, we've had 3 this year. We got 6 more to go. I encourage fishermen to sign up as a co-angler in one of these last 6 Bassmaster Opens, or maybe there's a BFL near your place, or maybe there's a Toyota Series near where you're at. We need you co-anglers, and these Bass Opens, we need you. Then there's lots of openings. Like I said, we only are filling half of these pros are going out with a co-angler. I just saw a stupid mouse go across the floor right there. Seriously? That's why I'm laughing. I just saw a mouse go across my floor here, which well, we'll have to remedy that thing when I'm done here. All right, so anyways, go to bassmaster.com. They'll have the information for the Bass Opens. They'll have the information there where you can get your information you need. You can look and see what tournaments are left. You can look and see, they got the entry forms there online. Or you can even just, if you've never done it, just call Bassmaster and say, hey, I've never done this. What do I got to do? And we'd love to have you out there. And I, for one, I enjoy fishing with a co-angler because a lot of times, especially in recent years, I've just been paired with marshals over in the MLF Invitationals. They went to a marshal system, so you really don't. So as a pro, I can't really learn nothing from from a marshal because marshals don't fish; they just sit there and watch. But with a co-anglers, I mean, uh, it's good to have them in the boat because you just learn more when they're in the boat, especially if it's a good co-angler, which most of the co-anglers are. They're Most of them are pretty good anglers. Okay, some of them are really good, and of course some are new. So it just it all depends. But you can always learn something, and I learned a lot, and I've learned a lot from co-anglers over the years. Like hey, here's a bait I wasn't even aware of, and this co-angler just smoked them. Or hey, I'm throwing this fast moving bait. He's dragging something. He's got me down 5-1. Okay, those are things you can observe, and they help you clue in on what really you should be doing. But not sometimes I'm doing the right thing right off the get go, and I don't need to pay any attention to what they're doing. So, but anyhow, yeah, and being a co-angler is a great learning experience. Okay, you're not going to learn you're not going to draw a guy who's on fish every time. In fact, it depends on the lake and the fishery and that, but you're not going to draw a guy who's on like the winning fish every time, or even half the time, or even 20% of the time. A lot of time you're going to draw guys that are struggling, but that's a learning opportunity because you could see this guy struggle through something, and maybe he finally makes something click, and you got to watch that firsthand. How this pro, who maybe struggled through 5 hours of no fish, suddenly in the last 3 hours, he's maybe put 10 keepers in the boat, and he weighs a good bag. But that ain't gonna happen every time. There's gonna be days where you don't learn nothing. And don't worry about forward-facing sonar, okay? There's this thought in some people's heads that forward-facing sonar is the worst thing in the world for co-anglers. It's not. It's not. Because while this pro is throwing it at that specific stump, or he's throwing it at that specific fish, the co-angler has the whole freaking lake all over back here to throw at. Okay? I mean, and I've had co-anglers specifically tell me that. They're like, hey, I like it when the pro's fishing with forward-facing sonar, because then because he's literally felt like he has the whole rest of the lake. The pro's got this one cast right here at this one fish or stump or brush pile, and the co-angler in the back of the boat's got the whole everything else. So that I've heard, but I've also heard how co-anglers don't like fishing with forward-facing sonar anglers because they just feel like I don't know. They feel like there's nothing for them to throw at. But I don't think that's necessarily true. In that, because really, I think they have the whole lake to throw at. But anyhow, that's not where this video is going. So anyhow, co-anglers, and I've had. Oh, here's just one other last thing I'll say about co-anglers. The level of etiquette and awareness of co-anglers, it's at a high level these days. I think it just seems like I haven't run into a situation with a co-angler for such a long time. I mean, I have great co-anglers. They're aware that they're not supposed to be thrown in the front of the boat, ahead of the boat. A lot of them make sure they don't throw at a cypress tree until I've maybe thrown at that cypress tree. They just wait, or they're throwing at stuff I've already thrown at and I'm already by it. And these co-anglers catch fish. They're catching fish. They're not, like, for example, at Toledo Bend. I spent the whole day looking at my forward-facing sonar, all day looking at it, and my co-angler outfished me. Okay. And now, is that a testament to how bad I am at forward-facing sonar? I'm not bad with I'm not bad with that technology. I'm not the best either, but and I was throwing at targets. those fish where I was throwing were stuck to the bottom. So I was throwing at targets with moving baits, and he was dragging Carolina rig, and yeah, he outfished me. So, so yeah, don't if you're a coiler, don't be afraid when you draw somebody who says they're using forward facing sonar, because that you might be just fine. So anyhow, coilers, thanks for being a part of it. We need you guys. Bassmaster Opens, 6 more tournaments, and that's it for this video. I'm sure there's something I forgot to say, but it's probably the case with every video I do. Over.